Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 3 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get into them, I quickly just want to reflect on our only selection today. That was Gunsight Ridge at Market Raisin in the 3:30. It was my nab, and unfortunately today he couldn't do the business for us. He finished in second place for Aidan Coleman and Dolly Murphy. They had a great day today. They teamed up for a treble, but unfortunately they couldn't win on our selection. But to be honest, for Gunsight Ridge, there was not many excuses. He was well backed in the market into even money favourite. We put him up at 15-8 last night, but he couldn't justify favouritism. He got into a lovely position under Aidan Coleman, just tracking the pace, and I thought things were going to really set up for him, because I thought they went quite hard out in front. But yeah, he just couldn't go and pick up the eventual winner. He did make a mistake as well, 2 out, which kind of checked his momentum. But I think if he was good enough, he should have had the gears to go on past the eventual winner. But yeah, it's just one of those things where luck wasn't on our side today. But yeah, that's the way it goes, and it's been, like I said, a frustrating time here on my YouTube channel so far this month, but hopefully we can turn it around and find some winners for you tomorrow. So let's get straight into it then. The 3 tips for tomorrow's racing, and we're going to be going to Ludlow for my first tip, which runs in the 2:15, the novices handicap chase, and I'm going to be going with a horse here called Rocco, which is currently available at 11-2 for Tom Scudamore and Tom George. I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here as my nap. Now this horse, I thought ran an encouraging race last time out at Huntington when he finished in 6th place. I thought it was better than the Bear result. He travelled quite well for a long way, but I just think he will come on for the benefit of his wind up, which he had before his run at Huntington. That was the first run after a wind up at Huntington, so this is going to be second run tomorrow at Ludlow, and that's always a good sign. But it just looked like he was getting used to the fact that he was able to breathe normally, you know, and he wasn't too harshly treated at all by Johnny Burke, who was aboard that day, and he was looked after in the last furlong or so, and he wasn't too far beaten. Go back and watch the race replay, because he did travel quite well. He did make 1 or 2 little errors at some of his jumps where he could have been a little bit cleaner, but I thought it was a fairly respectable run, and the handicapper actually dropped him £2 to that. £2 for that run, down to a mark of 115. But this horse, he's still very lightly raced, you know, and if you go on his second place effort at Kempton behind Fairway Freddie, if he can replicate that form, I think he's got a bit more to come, really, and I think he's better than the mark of 115. He's got things in his favour tomorrow. He likes going right-handed. He likes good ground as well, so that's some massive positives for him. And also as well, Tom George's team have been in fairly decent form. A lot of their horses have been running well. They've had a couple of winners in the last few days, so that's another positive there. And I think Rocco's got a very good chance in this race, and I think the market, if you look at the top end especially, I think Lucy Wadham's horse is a little bit too short for my liking. Obviously he was an impressive winner last time out at Leicester, where he absolutely bolted out by 20 lengths, I think it was. But the handicapper has had his say and has raised him £10 to go up into a better race. And also as well, I might have 1 or 2 queries about the ground for him. A lot of his best forms come on soft and hasn't really proved that he handles the quicker surface. But I like this horse, Rocco. I think he's better than his mark of 115, and I'll be disappointed if he couldn't give us a bold run for our money tomorrow. And I think at 11-2, that's quite a generous price there, and that's why he's going to be my nap of the day. We then go to the Welsh course that is Chepstow for our next 2 selections, and we're going to be going with my next best in the 2:37 with a horse called Danseur de Large for Nick Schofield and Polly Gundry. You can currently back this horse at the time recording at 17-2. That was available with SkyBet, who are paying 5 places on this race, and I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection. Now this horse is now down to his last winning mark of 100, and also as well, he's going to have the ground that he wants tomorrow in his favour. A lot of his best form has come on a decent surface, and his last time out run at Fontwell I thought was not a bad effort, considering it was on ground he doesn't particularly like, and it was over a trip that was a little bit too short for him. But the form of that race has worked out not too bad. The Venetia Williams horse that finished second that day, the Crooner, has gone on to win since and is rated a lot higher than Danseur de Large. That was a Class 4 handicap at Fontwell last time, and he's dropping down in grade to a Class 5. It's quite a weak race on paper, but Danseur de Large, like I said, he's down to his last winning mark, and he's one of the more classier types in the field. Also as well, Nick Schofield is a positive jockey booking, returning in the saddle on him. He's won on him before, in fact, on his last win, which actually came at Fontwell. And also as well, if you look at the career history of Danseur de Large, he's actually done fairly well at this time of year. He's won twice in the March-April time. So again, if that's an angle you like, that is normally an angle I would say I do like as well. Horses, you normally get horses that do well in the autumn, do well in the spring, that kind of time, you know. It can really boost in their credentials, and I think that's another positive in his favour tomorrow. And yeah, I think Danseur de Large has got a great chance of making the first 5. But yeah, he can be a little bit in and out, as he has done in his career before, but like I said, he's got quite a few things in his favour tomorrow, and I think off a mark of 100 he could win a race of this nature. So for me, he's going to be my next best of the day in the 2:37 at Chepstow. We then stay at Chepstow for the next race, where my long shot of the day is going to be coming here. We go to the 307 here with a horse called Wavering Down, which is currently available at 12-1, and that's available with SkyBet, who are offering 6 places on this race. And as my long shot, I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here for Rex Dingle and Jeremy Scott. Now this horse Wavering Down actually caught my eye on his racecourse appearance, where he finished 6th at Utoxeter behind Dan Skelton's 3rd time lucky, and he caught my eye that day. I actually backed him on Bet365 when they have one of their additional place markets, and I just fancied him because I thought he would plug on strongly at the end, because his pedigree suggests he will come into his own, hopefully overstaying trip. Since then he's been a little bit in and out, a little bit disappointing, but I think a lot of his best form, to be honest with you, has come when the ground's been on the good side, and that's going to be in his favour at Chepstow tomorrow. And I think the nature of the track will suit him as well. I can see him being held up and travelling there strongly, and hopefully be coming down the home straight with a strong challenge, hopefully trying to at least make the frame. Now Wavering Down, he's got a mark of 97, which I think is a fairly workable mark for him. Also as well, his 11th place run at Huntington actually wasn't a bad race at all. The winner of that race subsequently went on to win again at Chepstow, so it wasn't a bad race at all for the grade. This doesn't look a particularly strong race at Chepstow on paper, but like I said, I think off a mark of 97, this young 6-year-old, he's still improving, he's still learning the game, might finally be able to put together a career best tomorrow if his experience holds up from his last few runs. But yeah, I think he definitely has ability. And also as well, Jeremy Scott's team have been amongst the winners of late. They had a winner at Taunton on Tuesday, so I do think this horse is coming to the fore now, and I think he's got a good chance of at least making the first 6 in this race. And I think at 12-1 that represents fair each way value, and I quite like his chances tomorrow. So there are the 3 tips then for tomorrow's race. And quickly just recap then: the 2:15 at Ludlow, Rocco is going to be my nap of the day. In the 2:37 at Chepstow, Danseur de Large is the next best, and then the 3:07 at Chepstow, Wavering Down is the long shot of the day. So there are the 3 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you're still enjoying these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe here to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. If you want to follow me on social media, the only place you can do so is on Twitter, where my handle again is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have a few winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.